What's that, Felly? What do you got? You got snow on the pumpkin. Look at you. Well, there you go. Saturday, October 17th. It's just after 8 a.m. It's about 33 degrees out. After pouring rain all night, and a lot of rain, and listening on the news about how we were going to see some snow up in the mountains, up above 3,000 foot elevation, everybody in Marlow is waking up to snow, even down in the village. So we got a good wet inch of snow up here. Can't say I'm surprised. But yeah, you saw where we were a week ago. If the growing season wasn't over before, it sure is now. So I'm located at around 1368 elevation, and we're at 44.43 north latitude. And Marlow kind of has a microclimate. Marlow is known as the icebox of Cheshire County, which is why we tend to get snow and colder temperatures than places like Keene or Claremont, or places that are closer to the river. So yeah, we tend to have more snowfall, earlier snowfall, later snowfall. Going back, looking at my videos, it was, I believe, May 9th. It was, I think it was Mother's Day weekend, that we had kind of a surprise snow. Stuff had already started growing, the grass was greening, and you know, we got a later season snowstorm, but it's not unheard of. Get a couple of those pumpkins. I still got pumpkins on the brain. Get a couple more of these tomatoes off if they're not totally frozen. Not sure if this Swiss chard is going to come back. It looks like it stayed green, but some of the stalks probably broke from this heavy stuff. So even if we didn't get the snow, once you get into this time of year up here, everything stays wet. You know, after the rain, you know, everything can still kind of feel wet, you know, even 2 days after. Especially when you're trying to do yard cleanup. The leaves get wet, the ground stays wet underneath the leaves. And the sun just doesn't do that much. You can certainly get lovely autumn days, but the autumn equinox, I believe, was in September. So we're a month past that. So the day length is just getting ridiculously short. And it's only going to get worse. By the end of this month, at the end of October, it's going to be around 5:30, getting dark. And then, you know, you flip the calendar over and we got to turn the clocks back. So there you are, 4:30 for sunset. Up here anyway. And I think around 7 a.m. now is when... right about 7 a.m. is when the sun's coming up. So you just don't get that much day length. And you just don't get the drying factors to really help out. So it makes it hard to do cleanup and get things put away for the season. But that is, you know, what the snow likes to remind me of, is it's time to start getting things put away, things settled, ready for snow. You know, you gotta... Well, I have to put up more posts along the driveway, because I have, going up the driveway further, there's some pretty steep drop-offs on the side. So I got a bunch of new markers. I got to put those in before the ground freezes. Not much to do with the mini truck, just keep that running so the battery doesn't die. But I do have to get the plow on the truck. And I got to sand it and give it some paint, get rid of the rust. All this stuff here, well, most of this stuff here is for a dump run. A lot of junk going to the transfer station. And the truck is at the garage. I got to pick that up. Check engine light. And the plow controller wasn't getting power. So hopefully that got fixed. Otherwise I'm going to have to wrestle the plow onto the truck and jack it up and chain it and bring it over to the garage so you can work on the whole system. What else to do for winter? I got to get the hoses in before we get the the real hard freeze, night after night of going down into the 20s or so that's another thing you got to wrestle. And you may get days in the 50s, but if you can't get the hose out into the sun to warm up, that gets really stiff, and it doesn't really want to uncoil, so you can drain everything out. It's just, like I said, everything gets harder once you get into, well, this is November weather. Rainy, cold, cloudy. And this is kind of what you get until you start getting the real snow of the winter. And then at least it starts feeling like something different other than just cold and desolate. I'm sure a lot of these leaves will come off. I'm sure we'll get some wind pretty soon. I got to work on the fence controller, because now we should be getting some zapping through here, but I got to go around to the fences. If you can see over there in the back where the donkeys were pressing down, that looks like that the fence is touching, and a little bit of snow doesn't help, so I got to go tighten all this up again. I got these couple of dead trees in here I want to get down before winter, because they will probably fall on their own this winter. They've been dead for a couple of years. I guess if we want any of the hydrangea for the vase, and maybe it might even be too late for that. Got to put the grill, actually that's the new grill. I got to put the grill away for the winter. Put a cover on it. I'm probably going to spray the legs and stuff with WD-40 just around the screws. But it's hard. We've put it in a tarp and tied it up against over here, and the winds will blow it over during winter storms. If I can make room in the barn, I can keep it in there, especially if it's dosed down. We might be able to get the mice to leave it alone. But that's the problem with outside storage, is the mice find everything. They get into everything. And my dog and my cats aren't much mousers. Cats used to be good, and they'll still find mice around the yard and stuff, but they don't seem to like going into the barn on their own, and where it really does good for me. Any of the other projects are going to be bigger projects, and that all depends on if we plan on staying or not, which we're probably going to make a decision one way or the other this winter. The middle of the winter is when you tend to realize whether or not you want to keep doing what you're doing, where you're doing it. And of course there's pluses and minuses, and I may have a video to kind of think those through out loud, because I don't think there's going to be much interesting going on in the winter except watch this fool run around and play in the snow. Are you happy you got some snow? Yeah? You're a good boy. You are a good puppy. Yes, you are. So anyway, I think that's it for today. I just kind of wanted to share with you what I woke up to, and pretty much the period at the end of the sentence for the growing season. Yeah, we got to put little stuff like this, we got to put away so it doesn't get ruined for the winter. The fountains, I'll probably move that lighthouse somewhere safe, maybe the back deck for the winter, just because when I plow all the way down just about to that peach tree and all through here, just to keep the banks back as far as possible. If I had known it was going to get down to freezing tonight, I probably would have brought these guys in. Hopefully that wasn't a mistake. But they're pretty hardy. Well, I hope wherever you are that you're having a warmer, sunnier weekend than we are.